That's a lesson I think a lot of people can learn is play to your strengths and focus on
Mhm.
that. And if you value your time, which hopefully you do,
Right.
you got to find ways to use your time to get the maximum amount of return on your
Right.
strengths and talents. So all right. Well, Connie, thank you so much for hopping on this call with me. Welcome to the Amplify REI show, where we get to learn from rockstar investors who are just crushing it in their local markets. And you're located out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm super, super excited to have you on. So thank you for joining me today, Connie.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, let's just jump straight into it, shall we? Take me all the way back to whenever you joined the real estate investor industry and really tell me about that first deal that you ever did that kind of got your juices flowing so you knew you needed to do more of this.
Okay, my first deal did not encourage me to keep
I've
going.
heard that a few times, actually. I've heard that a few times.
It did not encourage me, but it did teach me a lesson. And I have to admit, my son actually kind of encouraged me to get back into it. And so we were in a pandemic, and I was like, well, now's the time that, I can kind of read up on it, watch the market a little bit more. And so I did. Of course, I think everybody else is doing the same thing. There's a
Mhm.
lot of competition, but it was okay. I was able to, just kind of be patient and get a deal that was, suited for me. And I had a landlord that was, tired of renting. And so he was moving out of state and contacted me, and we were able to make a deal that, made sense for both of us. And the rest is kind of like been history. So,
Nice. So
yeah.
what did you end up doing with that first deal? What about it did not encourage you? I'm curious.
The first deal, well, I still had a mortgage on the property.
Okay.
And so I was not able to, it just didn't cash flow.
Okay.
So if something went wrong, like the HVAC or something like that, then I just was out of pocket. And so it was draining me. So like I said, I learned a lesson, not to get property that could cash flow for me.
Yeah, so you really felt like you just bought a second house. You got like a second
Right.
mortgage,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Hey, but you jumped in, right? And you
I did.
and you took action, and that, hopefully will be the fruit that, that effort, the action, the risk, whatever you took on at that time, hopefully will lead you to the future success that you're starting to get a little taste of now. So you really started just recently back in the pandemic then.
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do to find that first deal, if you don't mind me asking?
I went through you guys.
Okay, great.
So I think I joined you all back in July,
Okay,
and we were able to close at beginning of September. So
awesome.
yeah.
So you just got this new property and you learned some awesome lessons, but you tied it up, you have it under contract. Are you thinking of keeping it for a while then? Or are you going to try to assign it out, list it? What's kind of your game plan, your next steps?
So this one I'm going to keep.
Okay.
And that's another thing. I was waiting, for the moratorium.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple of stories, people just not paying and everything. So, but I was kind of waiting on that. But I have a tenant in there, and she pays. I actually went up on the rent front a little bit, but she pays, and everything. So it's good.
Good. So your first deal you've ever done, you just tied up like a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
That is awesome. Congratulations. I did not realize that was your first one ever. That is very exciting.
It is exciting. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you have a great attitude about it. I run into a lot of investors who are looking for that grand slam of a first deal. And they're so nervous that unless they're going to make like $100,000 off of it, they're not going to do it. And it's just too risky or whatever. But I think what you'll find as you dipped your toe in, you took action and you solved someone's problem, that you're going to have more confidence to solve more people's problems. You're going to serve and help just more people as they come around. And we find that as a common trait of those that are just really starting to see success and their business is growing, is they're focused on solving problems, providing solutions, not so much of just padding their wallet. Now, I think it's Think and Grow Rich, where you are the theme is kind of you're compensated by the amount of the seriousness of the problems that you solve, or something like that. And when you're solving someone's problem who's having a problem with their home, that's a pretty big problem, especially for most people. So I just want to give you kudos, because that takes a lot of effort, a lot of guts, and it definitely takes patience, perseverance, persistence, all of those things. And I'm sure you felt that getting to this point where you're able to finally kind of lock up that first deal.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the pipeline's starting to fill up for you. That's exciting. How has your experience been working with us here at Amplify so far?
I love it. I think that you all are, I love getting the text messages. You give me lots of information. I can call them right away, or I can, if they don't pick up, I can text them. That's key. And if I don't catch them, you guys call for me, which is awesome too, and someone will set an appointment for me. I'm like, oh, this is great. So that's great. So I really do appreciate it. You all have, I think, a unique service to offer. So I'm thrilled.
Well, awesome. I appreciate that. I love our lead manager team. They are, most people would not be very envious of their job. They make, 150 dials a day minimum. And they're so grateful, and they do a really good job. And I love hearing that you're seeing some success because of their hard work. They're going to be, they love hearing the clients see success from the appointments that they're setting. So that's fantastic. Well, fantastic, Connie. Thank you so much. So let me ask you this, you decided you wanted to get into real estate investing. I'm assuming just deep in the pandemic, lots of people were searching for multiple ways. How do I make more money? Starting to educate themselves, right?
Right.
And you decided the best way for you was to kind of jump head in and hire Amplify. Do you feel like you're proud of that decision? Do you regret that? I'm just trying to, honestly.
For me, it was, so for me, I took an assessment of my strengths and the time in my time management, because time is money, money is time, right? So for me, and I'm still working full time. So for me, it was better spent for me to spend the extra money to have qualified leads, to have people, to have the ads on Facebook, and reach out, because even after, I think on an average, I get, let's just say 10 leads a week. For me, that's perfect. Like, I know I could probably go up, but to get 10 leads, I might get in touch with, 3 people that week. So, it works perfectly for me. You're getting someone who is interested in selling you their property. Because when you get into it, I don't have anything to sell them, right? Like, if I'm just calling someone up out of the blue, you get the rudeness, and because they think I'm being rude, they think I'm, trying to swindle them or something. So you get someone who, is interested in what you have to offer. And honestly, I can't sell them anything except for, like you said, offer them a solution. So I'm listening to them. Like I said, there's, a landlord who's tired, he wants to move. There's someone who may be in foreclosure or approaching that, or there might be someone whose parent passed away. So you just have to kind of listen to them and just build that rapport with them. And I love doing that. So this what you guys offer is great for me. And I think a lot of people should be able to take advantage of it, as long as they see the benefits, and that, it'll work.
Yeah. Well, awesome, Connie. I really appreciate that. And you seem just like a really natural people person, someone that's really easy to get along with. So
Well,
I'm
thank
not
you.
surprised that you've started to see some of the fruits of really playing to your strengths. And I gotta give you kudos because a lot of people don't take that time to get to know themselves and realize, okay, I have only X amount of time in the week and my strengths are going to be talking to people. So how do
Mhm.
I get in front of people and talk to them instead of spending all my time trying to market my services and trying to just find the leads? Just put me in front of someone. I'm going to build a rapport with them and I'm going to find them a solution. That that's
Yeah.
awesome, and that's a lesson I think a lot of people can learn is play to your strengths and focus on
Mhm.
that. And if you value your time, which hopefully you do,
Right.
uh, you got to find ways to use your time to get the maximum amount of return on your
Right.
strengths and talents. So that's awesome. Well, let me ask you this. I know you're still fairly new into the game, but if you were to tell yourself or tell a brand new investor who's just thinking about getting started, what advice would you give them?
Oh gosh. I think the best advice I would give them is some advice that I received. And that would be to invest in yourself. So, not so much invest in um, money per se or how much you can make off of a deal. I talked to so many people who said, well, my house is worth, $300,000. I look it up, it's only worth 150, and so I go back to them, I talk to them, and, of course they're like, well, yeah, it needs, a new roof or, just something, anyway. So you can't just go by that. But I would definitely say that you need to invest in, if you stop thinking about how much money you can make out of this, because the money's there. If
Hmm.
I leave $3,000 on the table, that's okay.
Hmm.
Because, if that's $3,000 that that person needs to move, and I got, two more deals, that'll, more than make up for that 3,000 I left on the table. And
Yeah,
I feel, fine about that. So it's not so much, you know, the money at the end of the day. Of course, we want to make money. That's what we're here for.
yeah,
You want to be compensated for what you have, but definitely, invest in yourself and don't sell yourself short.
definitely. I love that. Invest in yourself, trust yourself, and take
Mhm.
action. I would say I think you're a
Yeah,
great example of all of those, of really trying to understand yourself and investing in your strengths. So, well, Connie, thank you so much. I've really appreciated this opportunity to have a conversation with you. You're an
thank
example
you.
of a lot of people out there, and I hope that people see your example and your willingness to kind of take the chance on yourself and will take the chance on themselves because look what can happen. You can go close your first real estate deal and have many more coming down the pipeline. So thank you.
Thank you. I love this opportunity. And let me give a special shout out to Jordan. He's my lead manager and I love him to pieces. He's always responsive and he's always taking care of me. So,
I love
you know,
it.
you guys have great people that you employ and they take care of us, and that's wonderful. So
That's
thank
awesome.
you.
That'll make you someday. Jordan is a rock star. He deserves every second of credit that he gets. He does everything he can to help all of his clients. So
He's
uh,
great.
awesome. Well, thanks, Connie. We appreciate it. If there's anything else we can ever do to support you, please let us know and we'll be there.
I sure will.
Hey,
Thank you.
thanks. Have a great day. See ya.
You too. All right. Bye bye.